Hi, welcome to Django Monkey. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to do a full Django CRUD using Django 2. Recent version from Django, and as well, we're gonna be using Python 3.6. Okay, so in this video, I will not be covering how to prepare your environment or how to install Python or Django. You can find other videos in this channel or in other channels. Okay, just for a matter of time, I'll be just saying how to do this, but not in practice. But you basically need to download Python 3.6 if you're on Mac or Windows. You download the file, you do continue and finish, and it will install for you. If you're on Linux, you do apt-get install a Python 3.6, and that's it. There's no like any complicated thing to do. To do the same thing with Django. As soon as you install Python, it comes with a tool called pip. So pip, this tool comes with Python 3.6. So if you do pip install Django, it will install the most recent version of Django for you out of the box. Okay, but I recommend you to create a virtual environment before installing Django. So with Python 3.6, you can do Python minus m vm that it will create one virtual environment for you. Okay, and this virtual environment will isolate your environment from your operational system. Okay, so once you create this virtual environment, you're gonna have a folder like this, and you do source uh, vm being activate. Okay, or if you are on Windows, you do cd vm sudo scripts like this, and then you do activate. Okay, it's a very simple thing to do as well, but you can find other tutorials if you are not very used to this as well. I'm gonna let this URL in the video description. This Django full Django course that I record that it is available on Udemy. It's called Django 2.0 from zero to hero, where I will be covering all this stuff. So from the very beginning, how Django works, what's the Django workflow, how work models, Django admin, views, template system. As well, I'll be covering a full CRUD again on this one. We're going to be creating one real application, and as well with login system, login, logout using Django OAuth library. As well, I'll be covering databases relationships, one-to-one, foreign key, many-to-many. I'll be showing you how to prepare your project to be deployed on Heroku. Heroku is a platform as a service where you can host your project that comes with so many features out of the box, like dashboard for managing logs, SSL certificate, and so many other nice things. So we're going to be creating a real application and deploying it to the real world on Heroku. And as well, I'll be covering a little bit how to customize your project with Bootstrap. Okay, so it's a very nice course with at the moment third classes, but I'm going to record a few more. Okay, so I'll be covering since the very beginning how to prepare your environment, how to install Python, how to install Django and PyCharm. That's the IDE or the tool that we're going to use to write code. So if you are not very used with Django, you can buy this course and you learn how to create a real application integrated with Git, with Bootstrap, and deployed on Heroku. Okay, so I will left this link on here on this video description, so you can buy this course on Udemy. Okay, so once you have everything set up on your machine, you create your Django project. Okay, in my case, I have this folder Django 230 minutes, but my project is this one, project, with the Django project files and my virtual environment right here. Okay, after you create the project, you need to create one app called product, but you can put the name that you want. Okay, so after that you go to settings and you put your application in installed apps. Okay, like this. So now we are good to go. We can start creating a full CRUD for of products in our project. Okay, so your project is ready to start. I have here my console in my folder. Okay, this folder here, the same that we have here. So as soon as you have everything set up on your settings, let's go to products. First thing that we need to do is define a model. So a model will describe the business objects in your application. Okay, um, in this case I created one model called product that has a description of which are field, price with decimal field, and quantity integer field. Okay, normal Django fields. So once you define this model, you need to go here and do python manage py make migrations. It will create a migration file like this one that will describe to Django how to create the database table. Okay, and then you do migrate. Okay, like this. It will create the database. In my case, I'm using SQLite 3. That's the default one for this tutorial. But if you are using MySQL or Postgres, it will be the same. Okay. So once I have my model defined, I can register this model into Django admin. It will enable me um, to manage my model from the Django admin. Django admin is the most famous application of Django. It comes with Django by default. It will provide a full CRUD of all your models, all the models that you register here in admin. Okay, so what you need to do is just import models in the product. So from models import products, and then register that here in this file like this. Okay, now we are able to manage our model into Django admin. And how we can do that? First thing that you need to do is create super user. Okay, this command will create a super user for you. So I'll create Gregory with no email and one password like this. Okay, now I have a super user to log in Django admin. After that, we do run server. Okay, run server is the command to run your Django application. So I go here, let me log out on it. You can access your project from the URL localhost 8000, as you can see here, or 127.0.0.1 is the same, and then you go to the URL admin like this. Okay, I log with my super user like that, and here we go. That's the Django admin application. Okay, so that's once you register your model here, it will appear like this in this section. Okay, when we click in products, I have two products created already. If you do add product, it will provide you a full CRUD of your model with Django admin. So you can create a new product, you can remove products. Okay, and for now is that is what we want. Of course, we're going to create our own CRUD, but to test our models, the model that we just create, we can test it on Django admin basically out of the box. Okay, but once it's done, once your model is correctly functioning, working, we need to start our CRUD. So CRUD is basically create, read, update, and delete. It's the four basic and most important operation in one model. Okay, so let's start from the R. Read. We need to create a way to view all the products in our database. How can we do that? So the first thing that we need to do is here in your project folder, you go to URLs, and then you need to import this include function and call the URLs from your product application. Okay, this guy here, like exactly this way. I want that when the user accesses my project with anything in the URL, just localhost 8000, I want to redirect the user to product URLs. Okay, so you do like this. That's the way that Django 2 is creating URLs. You don't need necessarily to be using regex anymore. You can use path like this, that everything's gonna work very well. So it's much faster and easier to create URLs in Django 2.0. Okay, fine. Now in products you need to create a file called urls.py. Okay, and you need to import URLs path, this like this. And the first URL that we need to define is the one to list products. Okay, so every single URL need to be attached to a view. Okay, so the view is a Python function that will answer this request. Okay, I create this list view here, and I put the name list view, list product here as well. So when the user doesn't put anything in the URL, I'm going to answer the request with this function, with this view. Okay, but where this view comes from? This view comes from the file views, this guy here. So you define a Python function like this that will by default receive the request, and then we need to get all the products from the database. For that you need to import your model like this here. Okay, and do objects.all. This line will get all products in the database and will put in this variable. Okay, next step, we need to give a response to the user with the HTML file and the product list. Okay, for that we're going to use this render function that comes by default important when you create a new app. So I'll return render. I will put the request back. I'll say I need to tell what HTML file and include the product list. This HTML file, you need to create a folder called templates inside products. Okay, and inside this template you create a file called products.html. Okay, all this bunch of code here I did like automatically with PyCharm. When you type HTML5 and press tab, it will create the basic of the base of one HTML file. Okay, so I did the only part that I wrote manually was just this one, just this 4 or 5 lines here. Okay, so once I injected this product variable inside this product HTML, I can access it like this. So I can do a for using Django template system that I will teach you in more detail in that course on Udemy that I told you. Okay, so I'll do a for loop in my product list, and for every product that I create, I will create one list item. Okay, for my product, and I will show the product description. Okay, of course we need to start the list outside the loop, and for every product you create a new product. Okay, don't worry about this link now. I'll explain you when we do the update. Okay, so that's it. That's all that we need to do. Define the URL, create the view, define the view, get all the products, redirect return the response with the HTML and the list, and inside the HTML you do a full loop in your product list, and that's it. Okay, for in your case if you do like this, it will be enough for now. In like this, just this 4 lines. Okay, will be enough. I'll left it like this because I'm going to explain it for you soon. Okay, so let's test it out. Our project, our server is running. Let's go to the browser, and when I access the first URL, here we go. I have the 3 products that I create from Django admin. If I go there again and do admin, if I add a new product and refresh the page, boom, I have the new project right here. Okay guys, so that's the very like straightforward way to do the list of all objects that I have in a database. Okay, Let's go to the next step. The next step will be creating a new product. I don't want to be creating new products from the Django admin. So how can I do that? The first thing that we need to do is define a form. So you need to create a file called form.py inside your application, and you import products and forms. Okay, you import the forms from Django and then your model. You need to create a class called product form, or you can put the name that you want, but need to write from forms.model form. And then you create a class meta with model product and the fields that you want to show in this form. Okay, very straightforward, very simple thing to do. Once you define the form, you will go to the URLs. You need to define the new URL called new. You attach the view that will answer the requests, and as well you attach a name for this URL. Okay, next step, you need to create the view or the function. Okay, this function called create products will receive a request, and you need to import the form that you just created here. Once you imported the form, you need to try to get the request.post. If it's empty, it will put none. What it means, once the user has the form and it clicks save, it might comes with something in request post. So it means that the user clicked in save. Okay, so if I have something in post, I create the form with content. If not, I create empty form. Okay, and then the next line will validate the form. You always need to validate the form. Once I do form.validate, if it comes with valid data, it will save in the database and will redirect the user for list product to this guy. Okay, we need to import this redirect here in shortcuts. But if the form is empty, form is valid, will not be true, and then the user will go to this line. Okay, this line is just giving one response with the empty form, okay, or with the invalid form, and as well injecting it inside this HTML file. Let's have a look on this HTML file. The same way, I just wrote this line. The rest of it was automatically generated, but you can type it manually if you want. But it's just an HTML file, normal HTML file with a title and a form. HTML form. Okay, this HTML form should explicitly use the method post, and as well you need always, every form in Django, you need to inject this variable CSRF token. It's basically one out of the box protection that Django will provide to you against cross-site request forging tokens. Okay, cross-site request forging attacks. It's basically when someone can edit the form before submit and then inject like invalid information from inside your database. Okay, so once we put this variable, you can render your form like this. As you could see, we injected the form inside this HTML file. So that's the way that you will need to render your form like this. And as well, we need a button to submit the form. Okay, don't worry about that for now. This part here you can ignore. We're going to talk about it in on the delete. Okay, so that's everything that we need. We create the view, define the create the URL, define the view. We create the form. Yeah, we import it on views, and then we try to instantiate a new form with data or an empty form. We check it if it's valid. If it is valid, we save and redirect. If not, we give one new page back to the user. Okay, one last thing that I want to show you is here in products. I create one button called new product. That's basically one URL. It's syntax of Django template system as well, or Jinja, that will call the create products URL. If we go to the URLs file, create products is this guy here. Okay, so once this link is triggered, I'll be redirected to a new product form. Let's see if it is working fine. So here is the button. When I click new product, here we go. I just got my form with a fresh new form to be filled. So let's test it out. So test value and quantity, and I click save, and here we go. It's just redirect me back. As we could see here, it just after form save, it redirected me back to this list products. Okay, so it's working fine. Let's test it again. Boom, is working correct. Okay, so with that we finish the second part. That's the C. So now we have the C and R ready. Next part is the update. Let's go for update. When we are doing updates, we have one slight difference in the URL. We need to define, we need to know what object needs to be updated. So for that we need to get the ID of the object. That's the one of the most expected changes on Django 2. That's the way to define URLs. Before we need to create a regex, okay, or one URL with regex, but now we can easily define our URL like this. So we just set the type that we expect and the name of the parameter. Okay, the rest of it is normal. We put a name in this URL. We define one function that we imported here. Okay, inside the views we have the function defined. This basically the same way, but with slight difference of the create. We first recover the product from the database using get and ID, the ID that we received now, because before we just received the request, but now we need to receive the ID that is defined here. Okay, and then we get the product from the database like this. We instantiate a new form the same way request, post, or none, but now we can instantiate a new form already with data with the new product. So we pass the instance. Okay, the rest of it will be the same form. If it's valid, save and redirect. If not, give the response back with product form. But in this case, we need as well to pass the form and the product. Okay, the product that we just recovered here. So because we need that on the product form. Why? Because we want to show the delete button that I'm going to explain you next. But if we have a product, if a product exists already in the database, I show the delete link. If not, I don't show anything. That's the only difference. Okay, so now when I open this update URL, I receive a form already filled with an instance of product. Okay, and one last thing that I want to show you on update is that when I'm doing the loop over my product list, I'm creating the list item inside a link. Okay, so in this link I will call the update products. That's the URL that we just defined here. Okay, and then we need to pass the product ID. Okay, because this URL expect one product ID as a parameter. Okay, so let's see if it is working now. So when we click, as we can see now, if you have a look here right in the bottom, when I pass the mouse over the links, the ID change. So for example, if I click in prod 3, here we go, the form comes with data already in place, so we don't have anymore one empty form. Okay, because we are updating an object. So if we change something there and click save, here you go, we get the list now with the new object already updated. Okay guys, so that's the difference between update and create views. Okay, so in the last but not least, the delete function. The delete function, the same way of update, we need to receive one parameter of that's the ID of the project, and we define the view that we just imported here, and we put a name. Okay, let's have a look on this delete function. So First thing I do is I get the product that they want to delete from the database using the ID. And now what I need to do is verify if the request is a post, because when the user tried to delete the the product for the first time, the request come as a get, so will not execute these two lines, but will come to here, will execute this line. So we'll just give a response with this post delete confirm in the product that needs to be deleted. So we'll give this template back, and this template I just wrote these 4 or 5 lines, four lines, 3, 4, 5 lines. Okay, so we define the method as a post in this form. We inject the CSRF token because it's default. I put a confirmation message. So, are you sure that you want to remove? And I show the product description, because if you have a look here, we have the product that wants to be deleted inside this HTML. So I can put a confirmation message. And as well, I define one submit button. Okay, that will, when the user click and submit, now the request will go to the same view, but now with method post. So here I can verify request method is post. If it is post, I do product delete and redirect the user back to the list product function. Okay guys, let's see if it works. When I go here in prod, okay, now I have this button here, because in product form I verify if I have a product, I show the delete URL that's defined here, and then I click delete. Instead of removing straight away, the first thing that it will do is confirmate if I really want to remove. If I don't want, I just come back. But if I do, I click confirm. Okay, so it's working perfect. As we can see here, every time we select an object that we click confirm, delete and confirm, the product is successfully removed from the database. Okay guys, so I think that's it. We could cover successfully all the four most important operation: create, read, update and delete. So um, for basically most important operation for a model. Okay, so in this case, I think we are good to go. Let me see if I need to explain something else. Yeah, we did the forms, we did the URLs, we did the admin. Yeah, I think it's everything covered. So guys, I hope you have implemented all these functions in your machine. I hope is everything working fine. Okay, unfortunately for question, because of the time, I cannot cover the creation of the project, the installation of Python and Django, but it's very straightforward. It's not a big deal. But even if you have a problem, you can post it here that I can try to help you. But I strongly would recommend you to buy this course, because I'll cover step by step in deep details all this important and content from Django. Okay guys, so it's a very nice course. I think you enjoy it if you want to get more involved with Django, because Django is growing more and more. This version 2 is very well expected, and like the whole community is, I think they are supporting this version, because there are a lot of important changes. So Django will become even more famous around the world. That's my opinion. So if you want to get like more involvement with Django, I think you should buy this course if you want. But if you not, I think you are good to go as well by the Django documentation. Was why I started in Django 5 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna let this link here with a discount, a specific link with a coupon of discount that you can use. Okay, so that's it guys for now. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any queries or any comments, left it here down below in the comment section. That for sure I'm gonna help you. Okay, see you, bye bye.